Good evening, everyone. Can I please have a motion and a second to reconvene the public meeting?
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Can we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence for our servicemen and women? Thank you. Can the district clerk please call the roll?
Marisol Mallon, President.
Here.
April Anatelli, Vice President.
Present.
Jackie DiLorenzo, Trustee. Sarah Parisi, Trustee. Melissa Torgrosa, Trustee. Present. Michael Imbraham, Student Board Member.
Here.
Dr. Joseph Senmore, Superintendent.
Present.
Robert Hauser, Assistant Sup for Business and Operations.
Present.
Reza Kolahifer, Assistant Sup for Admin and Personnel.
Head honcho in the house.
Christina Poppy, Assistant Sup for Curriculum and Instruction. Oh, she's here. Here, thank you. John Allen, Assistant to the Superintendent.
Present.
Lori O'Hara, Executive Director, Professional Development, Compliance Services, and Special Ed. Present. Anthony Fasano, District Attorney.
Present.
Thank you.
Thank you. Can I please have a motion and a second to approve the minutes of the January 27, 2026 meeting?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So we have some recognitions to give out today. Very exciting time. I am going to ask the Suffolk region to come up and present their award. You just have to press the button. Oh, no, you just have to speak.
Oh, okay. Oh, God. I'm sorry. All right,
Actually, can you bring it so the people at home could hear?
Oh, okay.
Thanks.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Viola, and I'm honored to speak tonight on behalf of the Connecticut PTA Council as we recognize an extraordinary educator. It is my great pleasure to announce Miss Michelle Goodwin as the recipient of the Ted Brigham Teacher of the Year Award. Michelle truly embodies everything this award represents: dedication to students, strong partnerships with families, and a deep commitment to building a connected, supportive school community. Through her leadership in the PTA, her work bringing parents and schools together, and her guidance of meaningful programs like Freshman Awareness, Michelle creates spaces where students feel seen, valued, and like they belong. Her compassion, energy, and willingness to always go the extra mile make a lasting difference in the lives of so many. On behalf of the Connecticut PTA Council, we are incredibly grateful for all that you do, and we're proud to celebrate you tonight. Congratulations, Michelle. This honor is very great.
Thank you.
Ms. Goodwin, can you come down?
Yes.
The women that I stand shoulder to shoulder with on the PTA, Miss Melinda, Miss Peggy, and Miss Viola can be in the photo.
Yes, come on down.
Thank you.
Congratulations again, Ms. Goodwin. We now have some athletes to recognize for their outstanding achievements throughout the year. I will pass the mic to Dr. Sedmore. Mr. Mallory.
Thank you, and thank you for having us tonight, and as always, thank you for all your support. We had a phenomenal fall season again. We had just over 400 athletes. 235 of those athletes were declared New York State Scholar athletes having a 90 average or better. We had 13 out of our 14 varsity teams qualify as New York State Scholar athlete teams, meaning 70% of the team had a 90 average or better. 12 out of the 14 teams made the playoffs. Girls swimming and diving, girls tennis, girls gymnastics were all undefeated, undefeated league champions. And tonight we will honor our county champions and some individuals who qualified for the states as well. I'd like to start off bringing down Avery Melchiona. Avery is one of the outstanding gymnasts of all time here at Connecticut. She comes from a family of great athletes. I don't want to embarrass her parents, but they're in the audience. Both Connecticut grads and outstanding athletes in their own right. Coach Prince could not be here tonight, but she asked me to read this. Avery joined our varsity team in 7th grade and has had a remarkable 6-year journey, marked by consistent dedication, growth, and achievement. Over the years, I've witnessed Avery evolve not only as a gymnast, but as a leader, student, and exceptional young woman. Few program as fully as Avery, whose integrity, perseverance, and dedication to her team are unmatched. Avery has been all-county and all-state qualifier since the 7th grade year and is placed on events during these meets. This year at our county championship, Avery placed 2nd on vault, 3rd on bars, 2nd on the all-around, and she was the county champion on the floor. Avery qualified as an all-around gymnast and will be competing on all events for the team representing Section 11 at the state championship on February 28th in Utica. I am so proud of Avery and all her accomplishments. She is truly one-of-a-kind athlete who makes a lasting impact on Connecticut's gymnastic program. Congratulations, Avery. And now I'd like to bring up Coach Ryan Kavanaugh, our varsity girls soccer coach.
What an honor to present Emily Anderson as two-time New York State Goalkeeper of the Year. That's one position. She's been a varsity player since 9th grade. She's been a captain since 11th grade and on. She's an unbelievable leader. She's a goalie trainer for our local community kids. She gives back constantly. She's always helping and encouraging. I've never been around a young lady who makes me so proud to represent Connecticut. Emily, your time here at Connecticut will be forever enshrined. You're going to be a future Hall of Fame athlete. You're on your way to Loyola to represent Connecticut on the soccer field. But what you've done for me, for Coach Monahan, and for all the girls that were able to play with you, you have made them have that sense of pride that even though you were the best one out there, you never acted it. You always put the team first. We were so blessed and honored to have you in our lives. I'm so proud of you. You are worth every single minute spent. Emily, New York State, 2-time Goalie of the Year. Come on down here, Em.
Congratulations, Emily. And now we'd like to bring up Coach Chicalone, our varsity swimming coach, to talk about some outstanding state qualifiers.
Thank you. I'd like to thank the board and all the administration, especially for getting that construction done in the pool. If you haven't seen the pool, it's absolutely beautiful, and we appreciate your support, so thank you. It gives me great honor to recognize a team that has set a standard in Suffolk County swimming. With 3 straight league champions, chips, and 3 straight undefeated seasons. I couldn't be more proud of these ladies. So big round of applause for these guys. It gives me great honor to introduce 7 special ladies. I'll start off with, and come on up when I call your name, Amanda Tedesco. She qualified for the New York State Championship in the 50 free, 100 free. She was part of our 200 free relay, our medley relay. She ranked within the top 30 of the state in 100 free, and she was all county and all state honors. Amanda Tedesco. Next up, we have Shaylee Duran. She qualified in the 100 free, 100 breast, 200 free relay, 200 medley relay. She was also a league champion in the 50 free, ranked 14th in the state in her individual 100 free, and she was also all state and all county honors. Shaylee Duran. Next up, we have Nikki Julik. She was part of our 200 freestyle relay, ranking 3rd at the county meet. She was also part of our 400 freestyle relay that ranked 12th, receiving all state honors. And Nikki was also all state and all county honors. Nikki Julik. Next up, we have Ava Lettieri. She was in our 200 freestyle relay in counties, receiving the bronze, 200 medley relay, 2nd place overall. And she was also part of our 400 freestyle relay, 12th overall in the entire state, and also all state and all county honors. Ava Lettieri. Next up we have Addie Dorgan. She was part of our 400 freestyle relay, 3rd place overall at the county, 200 freestyle state relay, and she was also all county honors this year. Next up we have Naomi Davis. She was part of our 200 medley relay for states. In the county, she was also part of our 400 freestyle relay, and she also received all county honors. And last but not least, very proud of our little 8th grader, Sophia Fagundes. She was part of our 400 freestyle relay in counties, our 200 state relay, and Sophia, as an 8th grader, was also received all county honors. Just kind of recap, again, we were undefeated league champs, scholar athlete, and we took 2nd overall in the entire county. So super proud of these young ladies. And the best part is all sophomores, 1 junior, and an 8th grader. So looking forward to years to come. So, thank you.
We are the envy of Suffolk County right now, with all the other coaches and ADs going that pool. They're just, unbelievable. Thank you for that. Little fun fact I learned last week as well, since you approved the JV flag football team last year, Connecticut now has the largest high school athletic program in Suffolk County. We have 57 teams, JV and varsity, creating more participation for kids. So I thank you for that as well. Now I'd like to bring up the coach of the girls volleyball team, Lewis Melfi, and Brandon McCarthy. I'd just like to note before Coach Melfi begins, Coach Melfi himself is a first-year coach, and they won the county championship. And Coach Melfi was named by the Newsday Sports Writers as Suffolk County Coach of the Year in his first year.
All right, good evening all. Before I get into the successful season that our girls volleyball team had this past fall, I would like to start by thanking the village around my team and program. First, the parents, thank you for your consistent support and help throughout the season, whether it was early morning pickups, early morning drop-offs, or late night pickups, and your assistance with our big events throughout the course of the season. It all contributed to making this a memorable season for our girls. Special shout out to Mrs. Rodden and Mrs. Michelli, our team parents over the past 3 years. They were instrumental in organizing our gear orders and our parents for the big events. And thank you for all your hard work. A big thank you to our athletic director, Mr. Mallory. Your consistent support, AC in the gym, future sound system, huddle, future sound system, please and thank you. Our athletic trainer, Renee, for helping keep our athletes on the court. Our custodial staff and security for providing us with a clean, safe environment. To the high school administration, central administration, and the Board of Education, I appreciate your support at our big events and matches. And I would like to give a big thank you to my coaching staff. Varsity assistant coach, Brandon Patargia, he's our glue guy. Volunteer assistant coach, Stephen Carell, our master artist of spray charts, and our dedicated junior varsity staff, Gabriella Carreri and Deanna Farrell, who cannot be here tonight. What a first season as varsity head coach of the girls volleyball program. The time, effort, and energy that our girls and coaches paid off in a big way on and off the court. I like to say that good people can be great athletes, but not all great athletes are good people. And these girls show that they are not just great athletes, but women of character who gave back to the community throughout the season. We put on our first hometown hero events to honor our first responders and people who have served our country. The girls went out into the community to look for donations for our 7th annual Desi Strong match, and in total we were able to raise over $5,000 for the Desi Strong Foundation. Towards the end of our season, we wore yellow ribbons in support of Avery Jade, a Connecticut student battling cancer. On the court, we finished with a 22 record on the season. As a group, these girls achieved a level of team success that no current player in the program has accomplished during their high school career. They were a part of the first league championship in 5 years, and most notably, showed some great mental toughness as they battled back from down 2-1 against #1 seeded undefeated Bayshore to win a county championship. I've never played or coached in an environment like that gym before, and I know that that's going to be a lasting memory for myself and the girls and the coaches. We did have some individual accolades as well. We had Suffolk County's outstanding senior and Newsday's first team all Long Island and Suffolk County Player of the Year, Alex Patsos. Leo White was named Newsday's second team all Long Island in addition to earning all county honors. Additionally, we had Giselle Trzalski, who earned all classification. And then Kara Riding, Cora Benjamin, and Elena Carroll, who earned all league honors. Senior, Avery Truglio. Do it. Cora Benjamin, Elena Carroll, Ella Baird, Emma White, Jillian Late, Kara Rodden, Kylie Barnes, Leah White, Lily Mead, Madison Martel, Mia Gabriana, Mia Ross, Nadia Trzalski, Natalia Gill, Olive DeMarco, Olivia Michelli, Stella Graziano, and Tiffany. And before the picture, I do want to acknowledge that the success of the team is a reflection of each and every player. The great Nick Saban frequently used the phrase, iron sharpens iron, derived from Proverbs 27:17, to describe how elite competition and practice elevated his Alabama football team. We were a deep and well-rounded team, and oftentimes the quality of reps and competition against one another was more challenging than the opponents that we faced. This group of 9 seniors has left a lasting legacy with the underclassmen, and I'm excited for what the future holds. Please help me in congratulating this year's 2025 Suffolk County Class AAA champions, the Connecticut Girls Volleyball.
And now we'd like to bring up Coach Jess Perry. Coach Jess is the coach of the boys volleyball team. And they went a long ways, which you'll hear about. This is your second or third county championship? This is Coach's second county championship.
Stealing part of my speech. Congratulations to the Connecticut Boys Volleyball team for becoming Suffolk County champions for the second time, 2022 and now 2025. Making it to the state tournament, ending as semifinalists for the first time, our incredible season ended 15-6, and we were all so proud of you. We received a ton of awards, but I'm only going to name a few. Tyler Cope received Libero of the Year for the second time, New York State First Team, All-State Tournament First Team, All-Long Island First Team. Colin O'Connor received All-County Tournament, All-Long Island First Team, and CHS MVP. And helped make the season such a success, so thank you very much. So this is Colin O'Connor and Tyler Cope. Jason Hendricks Donato. Keegan Greco. Nico Carapeza. Ryan Spina. CJ D'Antonio. Tyler, I have your here. And Zach Piscatelli. Colin Hendry. Adonis Speed. Peter Flaherty. Alex Moulter. Andrew Barrett. Andrew Williams. Antoine De La Rosa. Bobby Plant. Connor Gibbons. Congratulations, boys. Thank you.
Congratulations to all the athletes and coaches, and thank you once again to the Board of Education and the Central Administration. Thank you.
Congratulations. Congratulations to all our athletes. Can we have another round of applause for them? Great job. And now for why we're really here, right? The budget presentation? Just kidding, but if everybody wants to leave or go and not, I mean, the budget presentation is really, really cool. If everybody wants to stay around for it, so everyone have a good night.
Oh, you're out of here.
so this is the third presentation for the proposed 2026-27 school budget. And tonight we're going to review enrollment projections. We'll take a look at the elementary staffing and class size projections, and we will also discuss academic programs. As we've done each presentation so far, we put up this summarized calendar, and I highlighted in yellow tonight's presentation. So a month from now, we expect to actually reveal the initial draft budget with some, I'll say many of the dollars that we anticipate in the proposed budget. After that, we'll continue to review draft copies of the proposed budget until we make our way down to April 21st, which will be the final presentation of the budget and then the adoption of that proposed budget by the board. As a reminder, May 5th will be the public hearing, and then May 19th is the actual budget vote along with the school board trustee election. So as we've started to move along with the budget development process here, we've taken a look at a lot of different areas, and we continue to take a look at a lot of different areas, starting with assessing the current programs that we offer in each of the school buildings, as well as the services, to try to identify those that are a main priority, and any services which you'll see later on that might be a new service or a new program. And then we can consider any program enhancements. We determine our enrollment numbers based on the current numbers that we have now. We take a look at our financial reports from the prior year to see any trends. Taking a look at the current year revenue and the current year expenditures to see where we're at the present time. We consider our debt service, so how much we owe in debt and the annual payments. We monitor cash flows, which is very important as well. Cash flow, as I mentioned in the last presentation, tends to determine how much we have to borrow on a short-term basis. We also look at revenue projections, which ties into state aid. And as we spoke in the last presentation, the largest aid number is our foundation aid. So we also take a look, like I just said, at state and federal aid numbers. We look at collective bargaining agreements. So we have a number of those bargaining units whose contracts are up at the end of June. And we look at those current bargaining agreements and the potential changes in the new agreements. We take a look at our multi-year capital plans with any outstanding projects, and then we look at strategic planning as well. And I'm sorry, I should have said, if anybody wants a copy, I left the copies of the presentation right down here on the edge of the stage. So this report here is our attendance by building, and for the most part going across the top, you can see the grades, and it also is as of January 30th, so it's the most recent attendance report that we have. If you look all the way over the second column from the right, it's January 30th, 2026 is the actual enrollment in the school. It goes down by school building, like I said, and all the way down at the bottom. As of January 30th, we had 5,155 students enrolled in the district. The next slide here, this more or less highlights since 2007-8 school year.
Mr. Hauser, I'm sorry, on the previous slide, what do the two numbers above the sections mean, like the 44, 40 for kindergarten and OSD?
So at the time this report is pulled, and on this particular case, January 30th, there are 44 students enrolled in that grade, but only 40 were in attendance. But it doesn't mean that, there were 4 kids absent on that day in that particular grade, in that particular school.
are 2 sections of kindergarten in that grade.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, so this slide, like I started to say, starts off on the far left with the 2007-8 actual enrollment in the district, which you can see on the left side was at 6,961 students. And that's the red line is, once again, the actual numbers. As you get further to the right, back in, I believe this is the 2018-19 school year, BOCES did a demographic study for the district. So that blue line represents what BOCES had projected our enrollment to be all the way from the 2020-21 school year to 2028-29 school year. You can see that our numbers in the last few years have been higher. Our enrollment numbers have been higher than what BOCES had actually projected. So once again, the far right number by the red line on the top at 5,155, that ties into the previous screen, the enrollment that was on the previous attendance screen. This slide here is the enrollment summary of the elementary schools. Liz, do you want to speak a little about this?
So what we do with the elementary enrollments, the numbers in red are projected numbers. We don't know how many kindergarten kids we have. We do know how many packets have been picked up at each school, and sometimes that number is utilized. However, we just project moving forward from kindergarten to first grade. So again, using that number, Ms. Mallon, that you spoke about, the 44 number, that was the number of kindergarten kids enrolled in BOSTI this year. We projected that forward, so there are 44 kids in first grade projected for next year, which we again are projecting about 2 sections, not about 2 sections. So we used that number 44 again to project kindergarten numbers. The one thing you'll notice is there are a few cells on this graph that show a TBD, or a to be determined. That's because there's still ongoing discussion between the principals and central office, and depending on the budget guidelines, what we are considering for those schools. So where it says 5th grade 27, the number of sections is TBD. We're unsure as of right now, but we are still in discussion as to whether that would constitute 1 section or 2 sections. 1 section would mean there were 13 or 14 kids in the 5th grade, which may not be appropriate, but I don't want the district to receive 100 calls tomorrow saying, well, you need to split that into 2 sections. That's exactly what we're discussing. So as I said, you may see that in several cells throughout this particular chart. So we are projecting that we will have about 2,262 students in the elementary grades K through 5, inclusive of the special ed.
Okay, next slide.
The next slide represents the secondary enrollment. Again, it is projected forward from what is currently this year, with the 12th graders having been moved out and replaced by the incoming 9th grade. And you can see by these numbers, we have the actual enrollments currently for the 25-26 school year, and you can see in the 26-27 school year how they've either gone up or gone down, depending on where you look on the particular chart. And our projected secondary enrollment is about 2,830 students, or exactly 2,837 is what we're projecting. So, if you added the two together, the 2,262 and the 2,837, you would see a slight decrease in the enrollment projection from this current school year to next year.
Any questions on elementary or secondary enrollment before we move on? Okay, so at the last board meeting, the board adopted all of the budget guidelines. This is just one particular component of the budget guidelines, so I'm going to read this just so everybody's clear with regards to mainly elementary. Elementary staffing shall be based on grade level enrollments and current ratios. Kindergarten through second grade is 22 students and under. In grades 3 through 5, 25 and under. Kindergarten classes shall be provided with a teaching assistant. Consideration will be given for a teaching assistant in grades 1 and 2 should the class size exceed 24 students. Secondary staffing shall be based on the total of enrollments in individual class sections. High school classes with enrollments under 20 students may not be conducted except as a 12th grade requirement for graduation and on a case-by-case basis. And this is for general education classes, not special education classes.
I have a quick question about that. I'm just noticing on here, kindergarten to second, we're saying 22 and under, but yet the teaching assistant for grades 1 and 2 if the class size exceeds 24. So 23, they don't get that? Like, I would have just thought it would have been the same number. Like, we're saying it's going to be 22 and under, but if we hit 23, then we'll have a teaching assistant. Just for the consistency.
Ms. DiLorenzo, I apologize. I was in the middle of asking Christina Poppy something.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, my question was, because I see we have, kindergarten to second grade, for 22 students and under. But then if the consideration given for a teaching assistant in grades 1 and 2 should class size exceed 24, why wouldn't that be 23? I'm just saying because we're saying it's supposed to be for even first and second grade, 22 and under. Well, what happens at 23 students there?
These are still guidelines, so we have had instances where 23, we do have a TA. We really, at 24, we say, no, you're getting a TA. There also have been instances where, depending on which building we're in, there have been teachers who have said, listen, I think I can manage it. I can certainly do my best, and if I need a TA, I'll ask for a TA, but for now, I'm good. So we do have classes that are running in first and second grade that do not have a TA, but are at that 23.
Okay, so it's kind of a case.
It's, again, case specific, yes.
So the final part of the presentation.
I'm just a little confused. I'm wondering why the superintendent of human resources is answering these questions, and that's a genuine question. I'm a little confused about that.
Ms. Parisi, I manage the enrollments. I go through the enrollments, so when I'm looking at these projections, that's why I've been doing these presentations. It's the staffing for that.
So he's saying that, based on the amount of students. Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Okay, so the final slide here is programs. We're going to speak about the UPK program, Universal Pre-Kindergarten Program, Alternative High School, the Alternative Learning Center, Credit Recovery Program, the High School Academy, the BOCES Summer Enrichment Program, and then a new request that we are looking at from the town of Islip to host a summer playground program.
Yeah, so I'll begin with the UPK. If you follow the governor and her executive budget proposal, there's been a lot of advocacy in the last few years for the state of New York to increase the per student threshold in terms of aid, state aid that is specific and can only be used for universal pre-kindergarten. That number is about 5,500, Mr. Hauser. Hadn't been changed in about 20 years. And 5,400, it's about 20 years old or so, give or take a year. And so there's been a lot of advocacy for the state to increase that threshold because costs have gone up. And then what's happened is that a lot of districts have have not been able to fully utilize this particular packet of aid that is specific, again, just the universal pre-K. The governor has proposed in her executive budget to almost double, to about $10,000, Mr. Hauser, that threshold, which is significant, and we're hoping that as the state goes through their budget development process, that there'll be agreement with the legislature and that'll come to fruition. So we're monitoring that very closely. We were able to, last year going into this school year, increase a couple of sections of UPK.
Now with this opportunity,
that is presenting itself, fingers crossed, but there's a lot of support.
We're looking to further expand UPK by a few sections as well. We know that there is a demand for it. We're working, as Poppy is, with our elementary principals on available spaces. And so we are hoping that the governor will get support from the legislature, that this will come to fruition, and that our district, Connecticut, can take advantage of that. Perhaps there could be a benefit in the funds that are going allocated out of the general fund. We'll have to see how that breaks down in terms of being able to maximize the aid utilization. But we're all looking to expand the UPK program by a couple of sections once we know that the money has been, it's going to happen with the aid, and once we confirm that we have the available space in our building. So that's a significant thing to follow there. So we're very excited, as are most school districts. And it's a good point, reminder to all of us that advocacy does work. Our district, our Board of Education, myself as your superintendent, we advocate for many things each year, and this certainly has been a source of advocacy from the School Boards Association and the Superintendents Association, as well as other associations across the island and the state, whether it be our teachers, support staff, administrators. Advocacy is important, PTAs certainly, and advocacy does work, so this looks like an avenue where that will come to fruition. Other programs that we are closely looking at, many of these are through BOCES, and so there is an aid component. Things such as that are at the high school, the alternative high school, which is the night school. One of the things that's presenting as a challenge is that the cost, BOCES cost for this program, because they were under charging us, the district, for a few years, and they finally realized it, and they agreed to work with us this current year to maintain costs, but going into next year, it's looking like a pretty significant spike in cost to the district. So there's a chance that the alternative high school may not be something, we're closely looking at that, that'll be feasible to host it at the high school, but we're taking a close look, but that is a possibility. Alternative learning centers, when you have a student discipline situation, particularly an out-of-school suspension, and there's an opportunity for them to come outside of the regular school day to maintain their learning. That program, the plan is to continue with that. Credit recovery, we're talking about high school graduation, certainly a critical component. We've had great success with our students. Obviously, we have a very strong graduation rate in Connecticut, something we're looking to maintain. High School Academy is an academy that's during the day at the high school. It's a kind of a separate setting, for certain students, and we are taking a very close look at the academy in terms of cost, in terms of space utilization. And so that's one of the avenues over the next month or so that the district has taken a close internal look. BOCES Summer Enrichment Program, we have about 100 students that have been participating in that program through BOCES. So we're looking to certainly maintain it, but certainly do a cost analysis. A number of years ago, I believe this ended right around COVID, the town of Islip had offered a summer playground program or something similar to it. They've asked the district if we could host such a program once again. We believe that the only cost to the district would be to provide security coverage, and that would be an alternative option for our families. It's a different type of program from the enrichment program, so we don't think it's a competitor program. And again, there was a time period where we've offered both, And so that's, if there's no concern from the board, we believe that the only impact would be to provide security coverage. We'll confirm that, and we'll look for some board guidance in March if we can go ahead with the town and offer that additional opportunity for our community. So these are, some of the key programs that we're taking a close look at as we go through the budget development process.
Thank you, Dr. Santamore, for that, robust and succinct on each one of them. For the
unable to attend the ALC the way a general education student would, is that correct?
That's correct. For those students, we would seek another type of placement for the duration of their suspension period.
What, I'm just trying to figure it out in my head. So if we're talking about a brief suspension, like a 3-day suspension, right? Won't it take us that much time to find something? Is there a specific reason that we don't have any support for special education, and that is it something we could do so that we don't have to, you know what I'm saying? In my head, I'm thinking, how long does it take to find a placement? At that point, the suspension's over.
So it's something we could do, but it would come with a cost, right? So there's a component feature of the contractual provisions that we would have to consider. We do our best to accommodate students on a case-by-case basis. When that's not an option, we do look at that alternative, which is, by and large, home teaching.
Which, I guess.
Occasionally, there is a delay.
The
That's
question, I
accurate
guess,
as well.
then is the cost component of home instruction versus staffing that different. And then I was just thinking, too, if we're talking about the potential for the alternative high school and maybe even the academy changes, what can we do to then use that to maybe boost some of the programs that we're able to keep? Just a thought.
Any other questions?
Does anybody have any other questions?
sorry.
Nope, all good. Well, just on the budget itself, I just want to, last meeting, I did ask about the BOCES breakdown and all the numbers. I wanted everybody to know that Mr. Hauser did supply that. And he also informed me that 50%, because we go through BOCES, we get 50% back of that money through aid because of using BOCES as the resource instead of going direct for many of these to the vendors. So that's the benefit of using BOCES, is that we get actually aid back for this. I have one other question about the overtime report. This report is for 2 weeks, and I just want to make sure I'm reading this correct, that the total for 2 weeks of just transportation overtime is $10,720.
Yes.
Do you want to see my copy?
I think I got it right here.
Okay. I just want to make sure I'm reading it correctly.
Yes, that's the double time and the time and a half combined.
Okay. So after seeing these numbers over and over again, I'm just curious if there's a program or anything that we can do to enhance the transportation department, that we hire part-time people just for these weekend sports events and field trips, instead of having the 40-hour employee have to work overtime during the weekend.
So we do have to, we have a contract in place with the transportation unit, and we do have to abide by the provisions of that contract, mainly the provision for a lot of these sports trips, or what's referred to as the wheels, is by seniority. So we would have to look into if the hiring of part-time employees would interfere with the contract language.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Didn't we just
come up with questions as to doing part-time and breaking up runs, and specifically runs being broken up for sporting events, where half of the run was given to our unit, which, by the way, the overwhelming majority of this community and residents of this community want us to have our transportation unit? Am I mistaken? The past 3 years consecutively, okay, we've paid out to outsiders over $3 million the first year, over $4 million the second year, and over $5 million.
The 5 million is a budget number, not an actual.
When a check is written out to a corporation for over $5 million, doesn't matter, there's something amiss. So let's clean it up before we talk about cutting more issues with our unit people.
Just to be clear, I was trying to add to our staff, not outsource.
Any other questions on the budget? Mr. Hauser, thank you.
You're welcome.
Ms. Poppy will now give a brief presentation on the secondary curriculum.
Emphasis on the brief.
Emphasis on the brief. We do have a birthday in the house, so we don't want to keep him. Whoop, whoop. Mr. Kasain, happy birthday. Thank you for joining us on your birthday.
Milestone, happy birthday.
While some of our administrators sort of make their way over to the podium in the rear of the auditorium, I'm going to remain here because I don't think that our slide advancement will reach from the back of the room. So I'm going to introduce some of our administrative staff here this evening who are going to share with us in part a piece or a component of our secondary curriculum overview. I'd like to acknowledge our secondary principals who are also in the audience amongst us this evening. Mr. Moran, principal of Kennequot High School. Mr. Liccato, the principal of Ronkonkoma Middle School. And Mr. Piombo, the principal of Oakdale Bohemia Middle School. Thank you for hosting us this evening, Mr. Piombo. And in a few moments, you're going to be hearing directly Ms. Berger, our Director of Mathematics and Computer Science, Ms. Burns, our Director of Science, Family and Consumer Sciences and Technology Education, and Ms. Sosa, our Director of World Languages and English as a New Language. Welcome, everyone. I'd like to start by sharing some achievements, and these achievements are listed on our high school's Class of 2025 profile. Once again, the Class of 2025 made us a proud Kennequot community by achieving a 99% graduation rate. 94% of the Class of 2025 earned a Regents diploma or a Regents with some type of advanced designation diploma. 58% of the Class of 2025 is attending four-year colleges or universities. 25% plan to attend two-year colleges or universities. 13% are seeking employment. 1% are enrolled in trade schools. 2% have reported to military. And 1% are receiving and engaging in adult services. That's just a glance and an overview of the Class of 2025. I'm going to start the academic component of the discussion by talking about our premier AP status, and I'm very proud to share with you some of the gains that we've made in terms of our advanced placement course offerings, our students' performance, and the number of students who have written AP exams across their high school careers. So since 2022, these graphs kind of give you a four-year look back in terms of how our students have situated themselves in AP coursework. We've realized annual gains, topping out in 2025 at 519 students who are considered AP students, having participated in AP coursework. And those 519 students wrote an impressive 1,133 exams. You can see the relative increases since 2022. And I just think that these visuals are something really to be proud of and to celebrate as a district. Thank you. Some more celebration comes in the form of the percent of total AP students who earn scores of 3 or better on an AP exam. And you can see the increases here as well since 2022. So for 2025, we're looking at 82% of our students enrolled in AP courses who wrote exams earning scores of 3 or higher on those exams. This contributed to the district's designation as an AP Honor Roll Bronze Award recipient, specifically for the class of 2025. If you recall, during this presentation last year, we also achieved the Bronze Level Award. 49% of students in the class of 2025 alone took at least one AP exam. 46 of students in the class of 2025 alone earned a score of 3 or better on an AP exam, at least one. And 21% took 5 or more AP exams in high school, at least one of those exams having been taken in either 9th or 10th grade. I have to say that in terms of this award category and this status level, compared to where we were for the class of 2024, we did make gains in all 3 metrics categories, placing us very close to achieving the next level. So there is next year, but I'm happy to report that this designation in and of itself reflects growth over the 2024 designation.
What are the goals or requirements for bronze or, not bronze, silver or gold?
So it's a little bit of a tricky matrix. The AP Honor Roll metrics involve college culture, college credit, and college optimization. And there is a pretty lengthy description of what each of those items mean. The bronze criteria, silver criteria, gold criteria, and platinum criteria vary according to the metric. So for instance, in terms of college culture, which is the first metric, this is the percent of students in the graduating class, so this would be the class of 2025, who took an AP exam at any point in high school, regardless of the score. So we had, for Connecticut, 49% of the class of 2025 earned that particular college culture designation. It puts us 1% away from the silver criteria. In the college credit criteria realm, we actually earned a gold level status. And in the college optimization realm, our status level was platinum. However, the College Board says that you must at least earn the lowest sort of threshold becomes your designation. There's no averaging here.
Got it. Thank you so much.
Another source of pride for our secondary curricular areas is our dual enrollment success. And I know that we spoke about this last year, sort of at this table, and expressed to the board and to the public that we are actively seeking expanded opportunities for students to participate in college courses. I'm thrilled to report that for the 2025-26 school year, we have added 17 additional courses in art, computer science, English, mathematics, music, social studies, and technology education through both Farmingdale State University and Suffolk County Community College. This has yielded up to 66 new college credits that are available to our students. And in total, CHS offers 164 potential college credits through 42 what we call dual enrollment courses. We're impressed with ourselves, especially because we did not have pre-existing dual enrollment and college and university level coursework in areas such as art and music. These are new frontiers for us, and we've expanded our course offerings in other areas like mathematics and social studies. English is another new area for us, but I do believe we were already in the throes of that approval process when we presented last year. This is very exciting news. And it gets even more exciting because we are currently talking very closely with a local college, it's Suffolk County Community College, about ways to help students gain the potential to earn an associate's degree in high school. We've been working closely with their board as well as Suffolk's administration to make this happen. And I'm hoping that at some point this spring, I'll have another very positive update to be able to share with the Board of Education and the public. But everything is still in the works.
I have a quick question, and I love the dual enrollment. I wanted to just ask you about, when the kids go to guidance and they're doing their schedules for next year, is this a priority for them to talk? Because I keep telling my son, look into dual enrollment for next year because it's a fantastic opportunity. So I just want to make sure kids know, you know, AP has been around for a while, but the dual enrollment is just, it's so great for them. So, yeah, I just want to make sure that they all, every trip to guidance, when they're talking schedule, they know this is an opportunity for them.
It's absolutely part of the discussion for planning, scheduling purposes, for the future as well, right? Especially if they're a younger student who may not be eligible for some of this coursework. It certainly is part of the conversation. Okay, and now I'm going to introduce our directors to take on the next portion of this presentation. I'd like to share some New York State Regents exam result data and departmental highlights, some of the big things that we are working on at specifically Connecticut High School, but I think you'll hear and see some relations to our middle schools as well. As always, we're focused on continuous improvement and success. And though you're going to be seeing plenty of successes this evening, please note that we don't rest on our laurels, that we look at every opportunity to improve, to make adjustments, to pivot, to assess our programs, and to kind of achieve the next level. So first, I'd like to introduce Dr. Casamassa. She is a new face in Connecticut. She started recently as our interim director of ELA, and she's going to share with us some information about our Regents exam performance in that subject area. Dr. Casamassa.
Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity, and thank you for the opportunity to work in this amazing district.
Regents over the past 3 years, and if you notice, it reflects a clear increase in student mastery over the last 3 years.
This trend is definitely a testament to the dedication of our teachers, the effectiveness of aligned instructional practices, and the continued commitment to supporting all learners. If you notice from the chart, we did administer the last ELA Regents in January of 2026, and that was a strategic choice made in the best interest of our students because the June 2026 administration will mark the first rollout of a revised Regent exam format. So administering the exam in January did allow our students the opportunity to demonstrate their learning on an established format, ensuring familiarity and fairness during this transition year. And these results represent meaningful progress and provide strong momentum as we continue, as Ms. Poppy said, to build on this success. We're never going to rest on our laurels, so continued growth always remains a priority, and the upward trend also affirms that our instructional focus and system-wide efforts are moving student achievement in the right direction. So it is definitely a testament to the teachers, to the students who work very hard, and we are very grateful for that. And now Mr. Robert Cassane.
I'm sorry, just one second. I just want to understand these numbers. The 97 represents
proficiency.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
97 what, though? 97%?
97%.
And so if 97% were proficient, these are our students, correct?
Correct.
How could 69% be just mastery? 69. I'm looking at 2024, the first line.
So proficiency is anything 65 and above. Mastery is 85 and above.
Thank you.
Sorry, I should have mentioned that.
It's okay.
And those
Yeah.
are 3 data sets, right?
Three,
this
so
is a look
3
back.
years. Yeah, so one is June 2024, June 2025, and the last one is January 2026. So
Thank you.
you're welcome. So Mr. Robert Christine, the birthday boy, the Director of Social Studies and Business, will now present the social studies results and the initiatives from his department.
Thank you, Dr. Casamassa. Real quickly here, going through our social studies Regents data from the last several years, you can see very consistent numbers across the board when it comes to proficiency, and something that we're really proud of is if you see that mastery number is increasing incrementally as we get more comfortable with the new style, the new format of the social studies exams. We're seeing those mastery numbers climb year over year, which is something that we're really proud of. If you look at 23, 24, 25 across both of our exams. Speaking of growth, our New York State Seal of Civic Readiness, which we offered for the first time in 2023, we've seen some pretty significant growth on that front as well. We started with 112 students, progressed to 264, up to 344 last year. We're trying to get as many students involved in this as we possibly can. So this is another initiative that, we're kind of learning on the fly. The state rolled it out a few years ago, and as we've become more comfortable as a district, we've had more and more students get involved and ultimately achieve this upon graduation from high school. I know we have been talking a lot about the portrait of a graduate, and one of the major things, now shifting gears to business, is the personal financial education. So there's a whole bunch of different things that we have going on that front. First and foremost, for next year, we're offering for the first time ever an AP Business with Personal Finance course. So hopefully that can put us over that 49% threshold to that, gold number, with adding a new course. This is the first time the course is ever being offered anywhere. There are a few pilot schools out there, but this is the first year that it's open to the public to run this course. So we're really excited about this. And one of the things that's really exciting for us is also that it's offered to both 9th and 10th grade students, which a lot of our AP exams aren't. We are offering it to 11th and 12th graders next year too, because anyone that's in the high school now would not have had the opportunity. Moving forward, the plan is to keep it more in those younger grades, but for next year, it's going to be a 9 through 12 class, hopefully getting more and more students involved both in business and in the world of AP. Along the same lines with personal financial literacy, we are finalizing the 4th annual Personal Financial Literacy Day. The tentative date is April 23rd. That's like 97% locked in. So be on the lookout for some information concerning that. This is the day we do every year where we bring in businesses, financial advisors, banks, all sorts of things, and our whole 9th grade class goes throughout the building to different kind of modules and hears from industry professionals, not just from our business teachers, but from people throughout the entire district that are, throughout the business world that can kind of help them with a new perspective, not just the classroom, but the real world perspective on personal finance. And that's one of the things when we start talking portrait of a graduate that's going to, count towards the student's personal financial education. And then when it comes to our elementary students, I know it's the high school presentation, but for our elementary students, that personal financial education, a lot of what we're going to do with that goes through our High School Heroes Junior Achievement Program, where we have our high school Honor Society students push into the elementary schools and do all sorts of personal finance modules on taxation and budgeting and investing and paychecks and things like that. So we're really excited about all those programs that are very well aligned with the new portrait of a graduate through New York State. And then one more final thing I just wanted to mention, a whole bunch of other business opportunities that we have. I mentioned at our curriculum council meeting last week, our work-based internships program. Mrs. Rapone at the high school does a fantastic job with this. We have over 100 students involved in these programs, from job shadowing to summer internships to Department of Labor to a work-based learning class. Some of them are paid, some of them are unpaid, some of them get high school credit depending on the hours that they do. Some of them the kids can continue to work on even after they graduate high school. Tons of opportunities available in that work-based learning sphere. Any student that's interested that's in the high school can just talk to Mrs. Rapone and she'll send them in whatever direction that they want. And our Connecticut High School Business Academy is our only CTE approved course program that's being recertified this year. We're in the process of recertifying it, but it's a program that allows students to graduate high school with their career and technical education endorsement. We average about 15 to 20 kids per year graduating from this program, and it's something that we're really proud of, and we've continued to grow throughout the years as well. Okay? Any questions? I'm going to pass it off to Ms. Berger to talk about math.
Mr. Kassane, please go home to your family and celebrate.
All right, will do.
We give you permission.
Hi, everyone. So I'm going to start off with my Algebra 1 Regents exam results over to the left. So our proficiency, which is the red bar, as well as the gray bar, which is mastery, are higher than the county averages for proficiency and mastery in Algebra 1. You only see 2 exams listed there because in 2024, in June of 24, we had our first new style Algebra 1 exam. So that's why you see those 2. Moving on to the geometry portion, you only see 1 exam there because last year was the first iteration of that new geometry exam. However, I just want to comment as prior to that exam, our proficiency rates were increasing 51, 64, 72, and last year we're at 82. So proficiency. So we are moving in the right direction with that, as well as our mastery rates for geometry, 8, 6, 13, 19. So they are moving in that positive direction.
Do you think, I'm sorry to interrupt you, do you think that the low mastery numbers is based on the new style of testing and the students getting used to it, or is there a way we can work on increasing those numbers at all?
I think it's the configuration of the way New York State rolls this out. Students all throughout elementary school see very little geometry, then see a smattering in 6th grade, 7th grade, and a little bit more in 8th grade, and they don't see it again till 10th grade. So I think the majority of their experience in math, which is cumulative, is algebra-based. And I think that's why we see better results in algebra. And this is across the board, and this is in line with our county numbers and our state numbers. So it's just the way the configuration of the exams roll out.
And there's a different way of grading these tests. Am I wrong in that? Like, because I thought that my kids had to wait an excessive length of time because of the New York State was grading it differently.
So no,
am I mistaken in that?
The first time an exam is given, we grade it, and some schools get called to grade it right away, and other schools grade it in the grading window, and then the metrics happen. I don't know how that even happens, but then they come out with this conversion chart. It's usually the Thursday before school ends or that Friday morning that we get those results. So if they were caught in that first exam, then the next year it would have been the next exam and the next exam. So that would have happened to them over and over again.
Kind of like a curve. Is that?
I guess it's a curve.
Okay.
It's not really a curve like we know a curve, but
yeah,
it's a conversion.
Conversion.
And I can't figure it out. If you can,
Nope.
you win.
Thank you.
All right, and moving on to our Algebra 2 results. This year, Algebra 2 is going to be a new exam, so these are the older style exams, 85, 94, 91. Our proficiency rates are slightly above the county averages, as well as our mastery rates in comparison to the county. Okay, we have 2 exciting things happening in math recently. We were awarded, I want to go to Class Gaga first on the right-hand side, sorry. So we were awarded a grant for Class Gaga. It is an adaptive platform to close learning gaps for students. So we are actually piloting this program in both middle schools and the high school in courses where students are receiving some support in mathematics. So it will be a variety of different courses and a variety of different experiences that we are piloting this Class Gaga grant. You can read about what it's all about right there, as well as we are piloting Magma Math, which is it's an online, I shouldn't say online, it's a real-time temperature taker for teachers. Students are responding to classwork or do now or an exit ticket, and they are putting it on an iPad. So they're writing on the iPad, and it takes a temperature of what everyone is doing in the classroom immediately for the teacher. What does that help? How does that help the teacher? It helps the teacher kind of turn and look at that heat map that they're receiving. Question 1, all students are kind of not getting that at first, but then they got it the second time they tried it. They look at question number 3, and everyone has a green. Well, guess what? Everyone's mastered or had, proficient in question number 3. So it allows the teacher on the fly to make adjustments to what's going on in the classroom. And that's something that we're real excited about. Ms. Poppy and I went to Deer Park High School to see this in action with some of their students. I was actually talking to some of the students about how they like it. They do like the program itself because it is immediate feedback for them. If there's a portion there that if they're working independently at their seats or even in groups, small groups, they can ask to see an example, just to kind of help them along, and then they answer the question. There's an onboard calculator right then and there, so students can, in live time, do work. Another nice feature of this, we know the dreaded, can you please come up and show everyone question number 2, Mrs. So-and-so, or, and the student kind of sinks in their seat and saying, I don't want to do this. As they're writing their responses onto this platform, the teacher can actually play back their responses. It can be anonymous as well, so it can be questions, students are numbered, so no, you don't have to know your, everybody doesn't have to know your number, but the teacher could say, I want to go over this work, this student's work right now, and it could just be an anonymous student in the classroom, or the actual student can get up or sit at their seat and explain as the work is being portrayed on the board. So we thought that was a nice feature because sometimes students are reluctant to participate because they're not 100% sure of what's going on and their own work. So it kind of increases their confidence level as well. So that's something we're real excited to see happen.
I want to thank you for talking about the Class Gaga because it is on our agenda tonight, and I was going to have Christina talk about it, so that's great. I think it's a good thing. The MAGMA program, you said we're piloting it. Oh, do you know, are we piloting 1 school, 2 schools, like grades, or?
Our first pilot is going to be at the high school, primarily in geometry and geometry applications. From there, we're going to, try to gain interest in other courses at the high school. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. I'm going to introduce Ms. Burns.
Before you do, Mrs. Berger, I would like to commend Mrs. Berger for writing that grant for Class Gaga. The award is $8,700, and she did that work on her own. So thank you very much, Mrs. Berger, for
Thank you.
making that effort for our students. And the MAGMA pilot is free for a month, just full disclosure, and we're going to try it on and see how it feels inside of our classrooms. As Mrs. Berger mentioned, we visited another school, saw how it worked there, and now the litmus test is to see how it works in Connecticut High School.
Thank you. And Ms. Burns.
Good evening, everyone. I'm here to talk about the Science Regents results from last June. So there are 4 Science Regencies that are offered in June, August, and in January. The 2 Regents exams that have remained consistent in their style, and they were put into this style in the early 2000s, are our chemistry and our physics regents. So those results are what is shown, a 3-year look back on the screen right now. These results are very consistent. The number of chemistry and physics students has also stayed very consistent in enrollment in our various levels of offerings. We offer Regents Chemistry, Honors Chemistry, AP Chemistry as what would follow that coursework. We also offer Regents Physics, Honors Physics, and our AP Physics 1 students also sit for the physics regents before they perhaps step into the 2 level courses for AP Physics C. So we are, once again, offering these styles of Regents exams this coming June. Then these exams are phased out as we move into the new standard version of the coursework and then the new rollout of the exams. We are delaying Our students taking those new exams, the first time that those exams will be offered is this June, and we held off on that based on what we experienced with the initial rollout of the new Regents exams in Earth and Space Sciences and also in Life Science Biology, which those results will be up on the screen right now. Thank you. So our first go-around with the 2 new courses and new Regents exams culminated last June. So what I've done here, because there isn't any sort of historical data to go along with these styles of exams, is I provided for you the data for ConnectQuat in the left-hand columns. You have your proficiency values and your mastery values, and the right-hand columns of each of those graphs for Earth and Space Sciences and Life Science Biology. Those are the Suffolk County values for the other districts who also onboarded those new courses and new exams in June of 2025. So we performed better than our counterparts across the rest of Suffolk County. And in looking at state data, additionally, we performed better than our peers across the state. I want to say that less than 50% of the districts across the state did onboard those courses initially, but our teachers were ready to hit the ground running. I met with dozens of families after this initial go-around of exams throughout my entire summer experience in order to prepare some students to retake the Regents at Bayshore Bayshore Middle School at the end of a summer school experience that was offered there, so that the students had their own answers and their own exams. I gave them all a copy along with the answer key, and we had basically a private tutoring session where I went through what their responses were and how to better approach answering a lot of the questions. The question style has dramatically changed, and Christina knows this, and also Mr. Moran, Mr. Liccato, and Mr. Piombo. I wrote a letter to the state. I sent it today. I'm just appalled at the lack of format consistency across both of these 2 exams. When you look at all of the other Regents exams that are offered, whether it's social studies, ELA, or math, those formats are extremely consistent. The students know what to expect in terms of the style of questions and how to formulate their answers, and we have not seen any sort of consistency in formatting. With the Earth and Space Science, there have been 3 go-arounds now, or with the Life Science Biology, there have also been 3 exams given. So we've done a look at that. We are doing extensive professional development with all secondary science teachers using new assessment platforms, using AI to develop tools that they would use in the classroom and on assessments that look very similar to what we anticipate the question styles to be. And we're going to continue that work throughout the rest of this school year.
Is it a fair assessment to say that the new style is more of an ELA test, if you will, as opposed to a science test?
It is a science test that pulls on all of their skills from ELA, from social studies, whether you're talking about annotation skills, or looking at data and documents, and then drawing from what they've learned in class, perhaps what's on reference tables provided for 3 of the 4 content areas, and also looking at the information that's provided within the test booklet. These tests are nearly 60 pages long, and trying to have the students formulate responses using all of that information.
So I want to thank you for holding off on the new format for chemistry and physics. Do you know if they're renaming those 2 sciences by chance?
There's a slight shift. Right now, they're both called physical setting chemistry, physical setting physics, and now they'll be called physical science chemistry, physical science physics.
Got it. And do you think that the new format will be similar to the new Earth and Space and Life Science?
Yes.
That's unfortunate.
Yes.
Thank you.
So we do have a really excellent science research program that I was asked to also speak to you about just a little bit. We typically participate in 4 really high-level science fairs or methods of students conducting research and then getting out there to actually present what they've researched to peers and also to judges. So our students continue to be involved in doing this work, whether they attend or promote their research in the Toshiba Exploravision contest, through LISC, which is it's typically held at the Cradle of Aviation Museum in Garden City, at LICEF, that will be coming up in April, in the Crest Hollow Country Club, and then also at NICEF this year. I just signed a student's field trip form for that a couple of weeks ago during midterm week. We're very excited to see what research is produced this year, and I hope to be able to attend some of these. Some of these I'm not allowed to actually go to. They don't allow like outside people. It's just the Mr. Halloran, Mr. Peterson. Those are our two science research teachers, and the students themselves attend. Michael, down on the end of the dais, he is well informed on the science research program, and we've been very proud of all the work that he and his peers have done.
I just wanted to go back really quick to the exams.
Oh, sure.
And even on the chemistry and the physics, which haven't changed yet, our mastery is pretty low. And I'm curious, you did talk about the professional development and everything that you're doing within the department. Do you feel that's going to help with these tests?
So the professional development right now that we are doing with chemistry and physics is all geared towards the new curriculum and the new exam. The values for mastery in these two exams, they are some of the most difficult courses that we offer. Chemistry is notorious for having an extremely unforgiving conversion or curve, if you will, where students earn a certain number of points and they don't necessarily see those points reflect a higher grade in some cases with that conversion, that it kind of backsteps a little bit when they convert from the number of points they get to the actual percentage grade they get.
Thank you.
I think we were at science partnerships next. Through our science research program and also through some of the other initiatives and courses that we offer at the high school, we do have partnerships that have developed with Stony Brook University in biomedical and medical fields, as well as engineering, with Brookhaven National Lab in particle physics, in, again, medical technology, and also using the National Synchrotron Light Source 2, NSLS 2, very cool building where they actually get beamline time using the X-ray beamlines to shoot at proteins and different particles. And it is difficult to get beamline time, so very exciting when the students are able to achieve that. We have partnerships with the Cold Spring Harbor Laboratory, including the DNA Learning Center, with Suffolk County in terms of getting data or samples of different insects to do studies. And our Science National Honor Society also likes to push into elementary classrooms, and we have a partnership with a wetland in Southern Oakdale that I have spoken with the board about in the past, where they go there a couple of times a year. Sometimes idle hour students also join them there, and they remediate the properties that have been reclaimed over time. They were destroyed during Hurricane Sandy, and they help with planting new species or creating a sort of a beautiful area for people in that part of the district to go and enjoy. And really anybody can go there. We've had some of the tech students also build benches and things that you can go and enjoy that space. And looking forward, much like my counterpart, the birthday boy who's already left, we in science have a good chunk of the portrait of a graduate to look forward to and plan for moving into the future, while the personal financial literacy piece is going to roll out for next school year. In 2 years' time and onward after that, in very specific grade bands, there will be some climate education pieces that will be a part of the portrait of a graduate, and I will be speaking about those at the next curriculum committee meeting, which will likely occur after the Board of Regents meeting in March, so that we make sure that we have all of the information available to us in terms of how the Board of Regents votes, whether to support or not support these new Portrait of a Graduate initiatives, because right now, personal financial literacy and also climate education are both just in the proposal phase.
Just real quick, just a quick question on the climate education. So as far as the financial literacy piece, Connecticut High School offers a wide vast of courses that might already encompass the requirement that we have. Does the same hold true for the climate education?
Yes, so I've already gone through all of the standards, and in all three of those grade bands, the middle school, high school, and elementary grade bands, the standards are embedded within the curriculum that we either subscribe to already or what the teachers are teaching as a part of their Earth and Space Science coursework. Some of the electives that we offer AP Environmental Science, which is a course that typically runs every year, and the students definitely dive into those environmental lesson types.
Thank you.
You're welcome. The last item up on the screen is iGEM. We've had an initial meeting about iGEM, which I know was featured recently on 60 Minutes. It is actually something that Mr. Halloran, one of our two science research teachers, was familiar with and had worked with my predecessor in the past to try to investigate. So we're once again looking into that. It is a really, really interesting program, and we're hopeful that in looking at it, maybe it could become a part of our science research program, but there's still a lot of details to iron out and things to look at as we make those determining factors.
I truly appreciate you even looking into it. You know, it seemed very complex and, you know, interesting and just, you know, something that I think would be just amazing for the students. So the fact that you're even going the extra mile, I truly appreciate it.
Oh, Mr. Halloran, it was really all a buzz when he heard about it. So he was very excited when it was on 60 Minutes. That's my piece. Thank you so much. And Ms. Sosa is next.
Okay. Muy buenas noches a todos. Quiero empezar por decir, Michael, yo te veo riendo muy bien, ¿no? Que quiero decirles gracias por darnos la oportunidad para compartir nuestros éxitos y los logros de los estudiantes. And for those of you who have not achieved your syllabi literacy yet, I would like to take the opportunity to thank you for your support and for giving us the opportunity to share the successes of our students. You can see the FLEX exam results. We do very well with the FLEX. Our students do quite nicely. The FLEX A exam, I cannot read the numbers from here, but I can see the red. The FLEX A is given in 8th grade to mark a benchmark proficiency level of novice or novice mid. When they come into the high school, they culminate with the FLEX B exam, which is a intermediate low, which means they can speak at a pretty nice level of fluency and can read and write. They're on the way to their literacy for the syllabi literacy. Our students, do you have any questions about the FLEX exam?
I do.
But
go ahead, April.
I just want to commend you and your department that the mastery numbers are very high. And I love to see
I have
that.
to say, our staff, they are amazing. They do great work with the
Yes,
kids, and
I
they're
totally
so
agree.
dedicated.
So I'm just curious as to the decline in the mastery from A to B. So in your opinion, why do you feel, because I feel like the longer you take the language, the more masterful you should be.
The FLEX B is measuring a high level of proficiency. So not all of our students reach, like Michael is in the college course right now, and he just sat for his syllabi literacy presentation, which was, I'll talk about that in a minute. So it is a more difficult exam. So the students traditionally it's more challenging. So I don't know if that answers your question.
No, it does, definitely. Felicitaciones, Michael.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
Gracias.
That's the only question on the FLEX exam? Okay, perfecto. Okay, for the New York State Syllabi Literacy, currently it's about 20%, and Louise, I apologize for the mistake in the math, 18 to 20% of our graduating class are in the Syllabi Literacy, which is really pretty amazing. They do a tremendous job with their research and presenting. And just so that you have an idea of what these students have to do, maybe Mike could tell you later on after the meeting, they have to do research on a selected topic, which has been on the, this year it was all involved with art. Across the languages, they had different tasks they had to do. And then they had to present in front of their peers and some of the staff members. It's quite nerve-wracking for young men and women, Michael's shaking his head, yeah, to do this.
It's very nerve-wracking.
Yes, and I am always so impressed with the work that they've done, the confidence that they have gained, and the humility with their peers. So I congratulate all of them for their work. And as you can see, 2024 was a higher year because we had a higher enrollment overall. We had last year 2 students who earned the seal in 2 languages. The year before that, we had 3. And this year, I think we have 2 that will be receiving theirs in 2 languages. ¿Hay preguntas?
Tengo una pregunta.
Dime.
So with the decline from 24 to 25, you mentioned there was a decline in enrollment, not necessarily a decline in students taking language at the higher level?
Correct. Yes, overall
Perfecto.
enrollment, yeah.
Gracias.
Muchas gracias y buenas noches. Breve y robusto. Thank you.
And that concludes our presentation. The final slide here has some contact information, and I know that this will live on our website. So should anybody have additional questions in the public or like to reach out to any of our directors or myself, I just left our direct contact emails for everybody's consumption. Thank you very much. Board of Education, thank you for your continued support for our programs, ensuring our growth, allowing us to remain current, up-to-date, competitive, and accomplished as a district. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Poppy, and thank you to all the directors and the administrators and all the work that the teachers and staff put into teaching our students. Thank you. Mr. Ibrahim, do you have an update for us?
I do. All right. Firstly, I'll start with this since we just finished the presentations. The Seal of Biliteracy presentations are happening right now. I know my class, today actually, we just finished all of ours. I would assume it's pretty similar across the board. And I would say they're going pretty splendidly, so that's exciting. Beyond that, we just, on Saturday, this past Saturday, I'm a member of the Model UN Club, and we just had our conference, and it was awesome. There's a ton of schools, a ton of kids there. Everybody seemed to have a really great time. I know at least my committee was very successful. Everybody had a good time. It went well. There was no issues. The food was great. Great event. So thank you to Mr. Dolan and Ms. Madden for that. It was wonderful. I know Dr. Sedamore was there as well. Yeah, it was a great time.
May I just interrupt you, Michael? I'm sorry.
No worries.
Only because I was going to bring up Model UN, and now that you brought it up, I'm
sorry.
just going to go for it. Because I had the opportunity to also go this weekend with, Melissa was there with us. One of my favorite events. I just love seeing the way that the kids come together. It's led by the students, and seeing them dressed up in their business casual outfits, the boys in their suits, the girls in their business power suits, and arguing world events that are going on, representing whatever country they're representing, being whatever senator they were assigned. Amazing. You guys do a fantastic job. I love it every year.
Thank you very much. And then aside from that, we had 2 other things. Firstly, so I used to wrestle, so I'm very, I guess, involved with the wrestling stuff. And wrestling leagues just happened. We had, I believe it was 13 kids that are going to be going to counties, which is awesome. That's a lot. Because we only send, I believe, 26 or something like that to leagues. So for half of them to come out and be going to counties is awesome. I believe it was 7 were in the top 2. So that's really super awesome. I'm very proud of our wrestling team. And then we had an assembly. I had mine on Monday during my gym class. It was a quick 10-minute assembly, and it was about all the mental health resources available at our school. It was really short. They just told us about, they had like a little slide presentation, and it was about all the people that you can reach out to if you're having any issues, a number of different hotlines that you can call or text if you need any help, and I thought that was really helpful. I know I didn't know that there was all those resources available, so it was really nice to see them kind of present that to kids so they know that if they need help, it's there. That's all I have.
Thank you, Michael, because I didn't even know we had that. That is great.
Thank you. Does anybody in the audience want to do public comment? Just wanted to make sure before I read this whole thing. Okay. Can I call for a motion and a second to approve item number 1 on the financial matters? Treasurer's report, December 2025.
Motion.
April, how do you vote? We're doing these individually. It was asked to do them individually. Okay, Ms. Torregrosa?
Yes.
Ms. DiLorenzo? Sure. Oh, you know what? It like threw me off as doing it individually. I should have asked for any questions first. This is the treasurer's report.
It was not on that one, it was the, number 5, the appropriation status.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, and Ms. Parisi? No. Okay, and I am a yes. Can I call for a motion and a second to approve item number 2 on the financial matters cash flow report, July 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2025?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions?
No.
Ms. Inatelli?
Yes.
Ms. Torregrosa?
Yes.
Ms. DiLorenzo?
Yes.
Ms. Parisi?
No.
And I am a yes. Can I have a motion and a second to approve the overtime reports, July 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2025?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions? Ms. Inatelli?
Yes.
Ms. Torregrosa?
Yes.
Ms. DiLorenzo?
Yes.
Ms. Parisi?
No. I do have a question, I just realized. I'm going to now say this publicly. I want to understand why certain areas were allocated $180,000 in overtime. Most assuredly, one of them being an hourly wage contractual thing. So, you know, the answer would be no, until I get answers.
Okay. And I am a yes. Can I get a motion and a second to approve the trial balance reports, July 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2025?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions on that? Ms. Inatelli?
I'm a yes.
Ms. Torregrosa?
Yes.
Ms. DiLorenzo?
Yes.
Ms. Parisi?
Nope.
And I am a yes. Can I have a motion and a second to approve the appropriation status reports, July 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2025?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions?
Yeah, this is the one that I had a quick question on. The general fund one, page 2, the legal additional services. We transferred, I'm not transferred, but I see an adjustment of over 16,000 and there's none available. So I feel like we've spent so much on there. At this point, what do we do if more legal costs come up? Am I reading that right? That I see none available? Do you see the one I'm
Yes.
looking at? Okay.
Yeah, I can answer that. So, you know, as with any other code that doesn't show any available funds, if we have invoices that come in for a vendor, in this particular case, if we had legal bills that came in that were in excess of the encumbered column, so that column to the left, we would have to evaluate other codes to see if there's the ability to transfer into that code. But that's only after the encumbered amount is also exhausted.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Ms. Inatelli, how do you vote?
I'm a yes.
Ms. Torregrosa?
Yes.
Ms. DiLorenzo?
Yes.
Ms. Parisi?
No.
And I am a yes. Can I have a motion and a second to approve the school lunch reports, July 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2025?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions? Ms. Inatelli?
I'm a yes.
Ms. Torregrosa?
Yes.
Ms. DiLorenzo?
Yes.
Ms. Parisi?
Yes.
And I am a yes. Can I have a motion and a second to approve the revenue status reports, July 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2025?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions? Ms. Parisi,
Yes.
That one.
yes. Ms. Torregrossa?
Yes.
Ms. DiLorenzo?
Yes.
Ms. Parisi?
No.
And I am a yes. Can I have a motion and a second to approve the personnel, the instructional and non-instructional personnel items?
Motion?
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Can I have a motion and a second to approve item number 2 on the consent agenda, the Claire and Robert Ross Scholarship?
Motion?
Second.
Any questions? Ms. Inatelli?
Yes.
Ms. Torregrossa? Ms. DiLorenzo?
Yes.
Ms. Parisi?
Yes.
And I am a yes. Can I have a motion and a second to approve item number 3, Transportation Settlement Agreement and Release?
Motion?
Second.
Any questions? Hold on. Did you have a question? Here, it's this one. You're good? No, I'm not yet. Ms. Inatelli? Ms. Torregrossa?
Yes.
Ms. DiLorenzo?
Yes.
Ms. Parisi?
Yes.
And I am a yes. Can I have a motion and a second to approve item number 4 on the consent agenda, Health and Welfare Service Agreement from the Bayshore Union Free School District?
Motion?
Second.
Any questions? Ms. Inatelli?
Yes.
Ms. Torregrossa?
Yes.
Ms. DiLorenzo?
Yes.
Ms. Parisi?
Yes.
And I am a yes. Well, I was asked to separate each and every single one of them, so, yes. Can I have a motion and a second to approve item number 5 on the consent agenda, Class Gaga Grant Agreement?
Motion?
Second.
Any questions?
Yes.
Ms. Inatelli is a yes. Ms. Torregrossa?
Yes.
Ms. DiLorenzo?
Yes.
Ms. Parisi?
Yes.
And I am a yes. Can I have a motion and a second to approve item number 6 on the consent agenda, extension of RFP number 22-051722-1, sound reinforcement and live streaming for graduation ceremony and other district events?
Motion?
Second.
Any questions? Ms. Inatelli?
Yes.
Ms. Torregrossa? Ms. DiLorenzo?
Yes.
Ms. Parisi?
Yes.
And I am a yes. Can I have a motion and a second to approve item number 7, Special Education Service Contract, East Islip Union Free School District?
No, I have to speak out loud. You know, we're used to doing these consecutively. If we're all going to be yeses, I'd really rather just pull the numbers that need to be pulled for separate votes. So in the future, if we're going to do this, please just have the number you want pulled, not every single number.
No.
Motion.
I requested this time to have everything done separately. I don't care, it's one
Second.
time.
That was the motion.
You got two motions.
Okay, any questions? What number am I on? Number 7?
I'm a yes.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, all in favor. Can I have a motion and a second to approve item number 8, additional election worker for the May 19, 2026 annual meeting budget vote and school board election?
Motion?
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Okay. Can I have a motion and a second to approve Facilities Use Organization 2025 to 2026?
Motion?
Second.
Okay. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
I'm sorry, which one are we on?
Facilities use?
Aye.
So all in favor is aye? Yes. No abstentions. Item number 10, can I have a motion and a second to approve item number 10 on the consent agenda, Board of Education Goals 2025-2026 school year?
Motion?
Second.
Any questions?
Yes.
I actually wanted to talk about this because I was a little confused. I thought we were actually talk a little bit more. I know I did express some concerns. I thought that the board goals that were written in that chart or even prior to that were just so specific. So I would like to read something about this because I'm really not, I don't like how they were written. I thought we would talk more. And I do appreciate the work that went into developing this. I think there are many positive ideas in the document, and my concern is not the intent behind the goals, but with how they're structured and whether they function effectively as true board goals. As written, it's more like strategic planning or administrative action. There are many dozens of short-term tasks listed, but very few measurable outcomes. So when everything is presented as a priority, it becomes very difficult to really determine what we're really focused on. So I feel like we are doing, a lot of these items on there are sort of a micromanagement. And it's not that I don't agree with some of them. We had a nice discussion about a district calendar going out there, but that's not a board goal to me. That's something that is basically we want to see the communication to the district increase, give a measure. And it's administration's job to figure out how to do that. They could take our suggestions. We can have conversations about it, take suggestions. So I am not for these goals as they are written. I feel it's essentially nothing more than us really, to me, and this is my opinion only, really getting into the classrooms, into school. And we're not here to micromanage our staff. We have some wonderful staff, and I think we can set those goals and let them determine how we're going to get there. We want to see what we want, when we want to see these goals, and they can decide how they get there. They're the ones that are working for this. We are the oversight. So I do believe we need more discussion. We need to fine tune them. I'm not saying don't take the ideas that are in there, but I do believe that we should tighten the focus so we can really communicate the priorities to the community and hold ourselves accountable for the results. I just have to put that out there.
So I just want to say thank you for putting that out there. When you shared your concern with us, it made me take a step back and really evaluate the goals and how we presented them and what we wrote. So ironically enough, the next day I was going to a scope dinner where I knew the NISBA president was going to be at. So I did take a copy of our board goals with us, and I presented it to him, and I asked him for his input on if we were micromanaging, if they were not being presented correctly, if we weren't doing them right, because it was our first time really doing board goals as a board. And he did ask me if he could take them home and call me the next day. And he thought that what we put together was an amazing strategy for the district. He thought that giving examples was a good idea. It's not micromanaging the superintendent. His belief was that we were saying, oh, you could do this, how the superintendent intended to do it, and with whom he was going to delegate was on him. We weren't telling him how to do it. So his opinion was that we had presented good board goals and had demonstrated a good writing of them, I guess.
Yeah, and I was going to back that up with the fact that I had sent a copy also to Jamie, who did our board retreat, who echoed the same sentiment that they were great board goals, and we were fine to move forward.
And like I said, I fully appreciate the work that has been done, and I appreciate their opinions as well. For me, I don't want to be micromanaging our staff. That's how it feels to me. So I'm not going to be approving these as they stand. But again, that's me. I want to see it more fine-tuned to really be the oversight, that 30,000-foot view. And again, I even appreciate their expertise, whoever you spoke to. I get it, but I'm not comfortable with approving these as they are.
Anybody else have anything on board goals? Ms. Inatelli?
Yes.
Mr. Grosso?
Yes.
Ms. DiLorenzo?
No.
Ms. Parisi? Yes. And I'm a yes. Can I have a motion and a second to approve item number 11 on the consent agenda, Board of Education governance norms?
Motion. Second.
Any questions?
I've said a few times in the past that I do not agree with doing this. while I understand this was recommended to us, but there are absolutely certain things in these norms that they're not followed at all. I don't know that even adopting this is going to make a difference. Respect and civility. I do not see the valuing of different opinions at all. And a lot of this, well, there are parts of this that basically will, and I get obviously confidentiality of executive sessions, but I am not going to cover up any kind of bullying or attacking that goes on just because it's done in executive. I feel like this kind of gives a little bit of a less accountability. Well, you know, we have to, nothing that's in executive has to come out. I agree with that when it comes to our staff, our students, the things we are legally not supposed to discuss. But as far as behavior and treatment of others, I don't see that happening. And I'm not going to tie future boards to something that is just, we're adults. We're adults. We should be able to speak to one another respectfully. I wish it could happen better. It does not. But I mean, you can approve this. Do I think this is going to make anything better? I do not. So I don't agree with these.
So I was under the impression that these were to discuss ideas and to try and get along and to kind of make this eventually an ideal kind of atmosphere, which it'll never be, okay? But tonight, in executive session, it really showed me why it shouldn't be there, okay? I believe we have a board member who's acting in a retaliatory way to someone who it was proven, okay, sexual harassment. Yeah. I'm not saying names, but 14 out of 15 times it was proven. I'm not saying names. I'm not saying names. The fact of the matter is, I believe a board member was retaliatory against this person. And this is why I won't ever, ever sign something like this. Or make it a policy. Come on.
Ms. Iantelli?
I'm a yes.
Ms. Torregrossa?
Confirming, this is just an outline. It's not, nobody can be held to anything from it. It's just, it's a hope, right? It's a hope. It's an unenforceable hope for our future.
Correct.
Yes.
Ms. DiLorenzo?
No.
Ms. Parisi?
Nope.
And I am a yes. Can I have a motion and a second to approve item number 12 on the consent agenda, Connecticut High School trip to MetLife Stadium?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? Can I have a motion and a second to approve item number 13 on the consent agenda, budget transfers?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No.
All opposed? That's you.
No.
Ms. Breezy is opposed. Any abstentions? Can I have a motion and a second to approve item number 14 on the consent agenda, APPR lead evaluators?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? Have a motion and a second to approve item number 15 on the consent agenda, 2026-2027 academic and clerical CSEA calendar.
Motion.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? Can I have a motion and a second to approve item number 16 on the consent agenda, superintendent hearing appeal?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Abstain.
One abstention. Okay. Superintendent update, Dr. Sedamore.
Thank you, Mrs. Mallon. Congratulations to our student athletes, coaches, and teams who are recognized this evening, as well as our teacher, Ms. Goodwin, on her wonderful award through the regional PTA. Thank you to our directors, principals, and Ms. Poppy on this evening's academic presentation. I'd like to thank the Cherokee students, staff, and parents for your amazing understanding and cooperation yesterday when we had to have Cherokee start their day at RMS due to a water issue. Thank you to RMS and to our wonderful facilities department for quickly working to resolve the issue. We heard tonight nice accolades for the high school AP Scholar Honor Roll recognition. Congratulations to the entire staff and faculty there. Recently, the high school held a local scholarship meeting, which was very well attended, gave great information to parents and students about scholarship opportunities that they can apply for right now. The very next evening, Mr. Mallory over at RMS held an NCAA night for high school families and students who are aspiring to play at the collegiate level. And what was really great about this evening is that we had several alumni come speak with regards to their experiences. One is a recent college graduate, two are still actively playing. All three division levels, 1, 2, and 3 were represented. It was incredibly insightful. I think the parents got a great deal out of that. Thank you to Mr. Mallory and to NCAA presenter and one of our local residents, Ms. Melissa Riley. Also that week, we had a great jazz concert, 3.5 hours of the most amazing jazz music for our secondary jazz benefit concert. One of the hallmarks of Connecticut is how our alumni come back to participate. Wonderful to see them and to see our faculty big band in action, our teachers leading by example. Really a great evening. Congratulations to all. At the recent Science Olympiad, our high school academic competitors earned medals in 3 events, including electric vehicle, entomology, and water quality. Congratulations to them. I had the opportunity to stop by Hauppauge High School where this was taking place, and it was really awesome to see our student academic competitors in action. Last week, through the weekend, OBMS had their musical Shrek Jr. It was absolutely wonderful. The music was incredible, and the costumes were just amazing. Michael spoke about Model UN. I had the pleasure to speak as they were opening their ceremonies. 11 districts represented, and our students dressed to the nine. Just very proud. What a wonderful opportunity for them. We recognize athletics tonight, but we should know that our bowling team recently competed in the county championships. The swim team competed in the county championships as well. They took 4th, and we had many athletes qualify for the states. We heard some great things about the wrestling program from Michael, and at the league championship, they took 2nd. In terms of our varsity girls and boys winter track teams, both of them won large school championships. Congratulations to them. And today they are competing in the state qualifications, and we wish them good luck. This week is Random Acts of Kindness Week, which will culminate with P.S. I Love You Day on Friday. Thank you to all of our staff and student services and our students for planning these events throughout all of the buildings. Tomorrow night is college night for juniors at the high school at 7 p.m. Just prior to that, at 6:30, over at the CM Performing Arts Center in Oakdale, is a special meet and greet with local artist Dan Weldon, whom our student artists collaborated with. Thursday evening is 8th grade, that's the incoming 9th grade high school athletics orientation. That'll be at 7 o'clock at the high school. And then once we come back from the February break, we'll hit the ground running in March with the High School International Night, along with several elementary literacy nights. And then it'll be the high school's turn for their musical with Anastasia. As always, we thank the PTA and SEPTA for all the wonderful enrichment activities and events. A special thank you to Auburn and our athletic boosters, as well as Rotary and Civics, for all that you do for our students, staff, and community. Wishing everyone an enjoyable winter recess. Maybe the temperatures will get a little warmer. And of course, have a happy Valentine's Day. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Stenimore. We have Board of Ed committee reports. We have the Disability Committee, Ms. Inatelli, Ms. DiLorenzo.
The meeting, we are more or less done with most of our tasks. The only thing that has changed is there is a new date for the Disability Awareness Day. It is April 30th. So originally it was May 14th. The new date is April 30th. Do you want to speak, Jackie, about the T-shirts and how much money was earned?
Sure. We earned from the T-shirts that we had done. Thank you to all the students who submitted incredible artwork. It was very difficult to choose. We raised $3,146 about for the T-shirts, which will go to the SEPTA Scholarship Fund. Yes, which is wonderful. We had that, and they're going to be doing. Let's see, I know there's going to be announcements for the fair, right? That they're going to be doing in March. Yeah.
Every Monday during the month of March, they're going to pick somebody famous that has a disability and highlight that person. And across the district, all 10 schools will read a little narrative during their morning announcements.
Yes, thank you. So yeah, and as April had said, that the date had changed, and also we have the Connect What. This is until Friday. I'm going to kind of hold this up. The Ronald McDonald, right? This isn't until Friday. Connect What Gives Back. This was presented by the committee. So each school is going to be collecting items in need for the Ronald McDonald House. So donations can be dropped off the main office of your school or sent directly to the Ronald McDonald House through Amazon wish list. So you can look for this. This was, I think it went out on Parent Square. Is that correct? So you can look. I'm sure it's very tiny as I'm holding it up, but you can look for it. And we have until Friday to donate for that.
What kind of items? What kind of items are they?
I know they gave a list.
The QR code.
They did. I have it on here. The items.
Personal care items.
Yeah, personal care items. I know they said, what did she say that, like Cheerios and things like that was some of the things,
Snacks,
the cereals,
right.
something that they really need at the hospitals, like pantry items, and even, like toiletry items. They even have on here can openers. So I think this list is also sent,
So it's for any family who's going to stay, has a long-term care. The child's in the hospital, they stay at the Ronald McDonald House, and the Ronald McDonald House doesn't charge them anything, and it's everything that they need to stay there while they're caring for their children. So snacks, personal care items, things like that.
That's awesome. Are they also collecting soda can tabs?
They are not.
Not? Okay.
Just one more thing to add. One of the committee members is going to ask the Director of Music and Fine Arts if we can display the artwork of all the students who submitted for the T-shirts at the April art event that we have at the high school. So hopefully that's going to be a yes, and everybody will have the opportunity to see the work that, all the hard work these kids put in.
Thank you. We have the curriculum committee. That's myself and Ms. Inatelli. You can start.
You know what, because we just had the curriculum.
No, they covered it.
Rob
Mr.
Kassane was
Kassane
our
covered it.
guest, and, he went over many of the things tonight that we went over in the committee. So just excellent. I was so happy that Ms. Poppy brought him in. It was great to see all the things that, we don't even realize we have in the school. So I have to say that it just was educational even for myself.
Agreed with April. So we were talking about Portrait of a Graduate and the financial literacy requirement that's coming down, and Mr. Kassane came and gave a presentation on all the course offerings that we already offer and how far ahead we already are in the requirements that New York State will have. And he went also explaining the work job and the work shadowing programs that we have, a lot of amazing opportunities. If any of your children or students want to go see Ms. Rapone at the high school, she has a lot of great opportunities for everybody. Mental Health Advisory Committee, Ms. Dealer, oh, sorry.
Yeah, I actually had something I wanted to talk about, because I went as a third person to the curriculum committee. I couldn't, which I wasn't going to, of course, because I know I can't contribute to the meeting or anything. I just wanted to view it, because it's no secret from the last meeting, I have multiple concerns about the Portrait of a Graduate. So I was looking through it again, and I just wanted to put this out there because, as we had, said over the years, we don't want to see this stuff enter our schools, critical race theory and all that. So I just want to give the board a little bit more information as to the culturally responsive sustaining educational framework, which it's all right on the New York State Education Department website. So just to give a little bit, there are people that basically wrote the definition of culturally responsive sustaining education. A little background on these people, if I can just have a minute to go through them. One of them, Alfred Artiles, and he is and all these people are, I'm sure, highly intelligent, academic people, but the things that they do, for him, he examines the role of socio-cultural influences in educators' interpretations and responses to chronic school district citations for racial disparities in special education and discipline. And I'm not saying that that's what he does. Another one, Jeffrey Duncan, what he does is these are all their bios. You can look them all up, Google, find them all there. His says, transforming education through community-responsive pedagogy that prioritizes equity, student wellness, and meaningful learning experiences. He even has a book out there, The Art of Critical Pedagogy, Possibilities for Moving from Theory to Practice in Urban Schools. A little blurb on the book, addressing the tensions inherent in enacting critical pedagogy between working to disrupt and to successfully navigate oppressive institutionalized structures and between the practice of critical pedagogy and the current standards-driven climate. That's another one. Another one, Dr. David Kirkland. His transdisciplinary scholarship explores a variety of equity-related topics, including culturally responsive sustaining education, restorative practice, school climate and discipline, school integration and choice, social-emotional learning, vulnerable learners, and the science of school transformation. Another one that I've mentioned multiple times, Gloria Ladson-Billings. Her bio, you go directly onto it. Her research examines the pedagogical practices of teachers who are successful with African American students. She also investigates critical race theory applications in education. Joyce Moy, she was somebody who's more of a financial person. I'm guessing this is where maybe the financial literacy came from. But she focuses mainly on Asian studies and financial literacy there. I can't pronounce his name too well, but Django Paris. His teaching and research focuses on centering and sustaining Indigenous, Black, Latinx, Asian Pacific Islander youth and communities in the context of ongoing resurgence, decolonization, liberation, and justice movements in and beyond our schools. Carla Shedd, her current research centers on New York City's juvenile justice system, specifically investigating how young people's institutional experiences influence their placement on and movement along the carceral continuum. I promise I'm almost done. Amy Stewart-Wells, the executive director of some reimagining education, teaching, learning, and leading for a racially just society, which offers educators several ways to engage with Teachers College, which many years ago, I know I had talked about Teachers College. It was very political. Faculty while learning about the research on teaching culture and race to improve their practice. Mariana Sudo-Manning is another person. Her research examines inequities and injustices in early childhood teaching, teacher education, centering methodologies, pedagogies on the lives, values, and experiences of intersectionally minoritized people of color. And Amy Stewart-Wells, oh no, I read her, I'm sorry, apologize. I accidentally put it in the wrong slide. So the reason why I brought them up, and a lot of that is, there was just a lot of description there, but essentially what I wanted to highlight is the fact that not one of those people says something as simple as improving reading scores, improving math scores. Nothing in what they said is academic. So I want everybody to just be aware that this portrait of a graduate is based on something these people are the authors of. And they have nothing about science. Everything is about social. And I'm not saying relationships between people aren't important. Of course they are. But we are a school district, academic. We just had a wonderful presentation tonight from our secondary directors. Our principals were here. That's what it's about. And I know they did bring this up as part of their thing, but the scores, the math scores, how we're doing on the test. Academics, not one of these people is academic. So I just have to put that out there. I mean, I could send everybody the links and I apologize for going so long on that, but there were a few people, I just wanted to highlight some things. But I think it's important for everybody to know that.
It feels a little disingenuous to read their bios where they're of course going to highlight their things that, like, works they have, right? So, like, sure, I think each component put together sounds like we're addressing a lot of different things, but, like, I just don't know where in a bio you would fit in, like, math scores, right? Or, like, science levels. So I would have to personally, before saying that it's all social and there's, like, no education component, these are people with PhDs and they have education behind them, so it feels a little bit harsh to say that there's no academic component. And also, just because that's their bios doesn't mean New York State is making their framework non-academic. I would have to venture to believe that the state isn't just, who cares about math? Nobody ever needed to add in their life, right? Like, I'm not saying they can't do better either. I mean, we saw the scores. The fact that we're not all overly thrilled with some of ours, but they still exceeded state and county says a lot. To say that there's no academic component to it and it's all social feels disingenuous and misrepresentative to me. At least that's just my opinion. And I think that there's a difference between the bios of the people involved and the framework that the state is giving, which we then take the framework and we make it what we need it to be as Connecticut to hit on the appropriate parts of Portrait of a Graduate. So it just feels like we went, like, really broad and made it seem like this big scary thing. But as usual, I do trust Ms. Poppy, and we make it work. And I think we excel at doing this often when we feel like we're kind of getting backed into corners. We get creative.
I think we should also just remind everyone what was said at the last meeting, where New York State gives the districts leeway in how they want to present the curriculum that New York State is telling us we should be teaching to our students. So they're saying, teach this, but they're not telling us how to teach it, so they're allowing the district that flexibility. Am I right in that, Ms. Poppy? So we have the flexibility of how we present the curriculum to our students.
Okay. Okay, no, and I appreciate that, and I remember saying that last meeting. I said, I absolutely appreciate that we can do our own, and I do want to see us do our own. The thing is, to your point, Melissa, while, yeah, that's just their bio, but if you actually look at the framework they created, what they focus on, it's right on the New York State Education Department. You can Google it. There is nothing in it. It's like 20 pages. There is nothing in there about math. So while you can look at their bio and say they're educated. So I'm just saying, just if you want to look at it, look at it. It's all there. It's not that. There is nothing academic in it. And I do hope that we do find our way to do it our own way. As I said last time, I've seen it done before. We create our own, because the very creators of this framework, which is the basis for Portrait of a Graduate, want to see schools transform. That is the whole thing of their research and how to do it. And transform socially, not academically, not to raise our scores.
Thank you. Ms. Parisi, did you have something?
Yeah, I rarely speak at this unless I have something to say. So I'm kind of learning how we're running this, from many moons ago when I was on the board. So my question is, I have a couple of questions for administration. I was wondering, do I do it now or do I do it at the end?
I would wait for Board of Ed topics.
Okay.
Because now we're just doing the committee reports.
Okay.
Yeah, is that right?
So I had one other question, and the curriculum committee reminded me, and that has nothing to do with what I just talked about. Just a question more for procedure, because I was the third person that went. So I wanted to ask you, Anthony, is there when you go as a third board member, and not to communicate or do anything, because I didn't, I had no intentions of it, I just want to listen, do you actually have to sit completely separate, or can you sit around the table? Because I had a hard time hearing half of the meeting, because I was looking at the back of people's heads. I was told to sit at a table far off, and if the table wasn't there, I don't know where I would have gone.
In reference to
So
what?
the curriculum committee, I was told to sit at a table separate according to Robert's rules. So I just want to make sure that, because I actually couldn't hear the back of the people.
So that was me. I had said that to have 3 board members at a committee meeting, just A, is not allowed because of Robert's rules. And the optics, because we do have community members that do come to these meetings, to see 3 board members around the table. So there happened to have been a table to the side where we asked Ms. DiLorenzo to sit at, but
What are the rules?
sure.
Or just, go ahead, Anthony.
If I'm giving legal advice, would you prefer that I do it in executive session or?
No. Yeah, that works for me, but I just want to add that we also had thousands of dollars spent on a investigation because 3 board members were together in the same room. So I think we're all a little bit leery of being at the same table to avoid anything like that again and wasting district monies.
Yes, and I'm okay with the legal advice being an executive.
Personally, I don't think it's a big deal. It's just telling me whether or not I can sit at the table or if I have to look at the back of people's heads. I mean, if I'm in there with community members, I mean, that's just me.
So my question is,
Wait, we're going to do the Mental Health Advisory Committee. Ms. DiLorenzo.
Okay. So, yes, we had our meeting. So what we did, we talked a lot about the suspensions that are coming up. We're seeing them occurring more often at secondary level, vaping, and even a little bit of an increase at the elementary level. So, of course, there are talks about how to handle that and what to do. There are things in place, which is great there are different types of pathways if there are, God forbid, threats of harm made to oneself. There's a Columbia assessment used. For other types of threats, we have the behavioral threat assessment team. So we have many, many things that are in place to help these students as they go through this. The other thing that we talked about was a bully prevention action plan. This is something new that's been going on to help with the data so that we know what's happening. So the DAC coordinators are going to expand on the reporting, the monthly submission, basically to distinguish, bully is, the term bully is kind of subjective to what's happening, and people have many, many definitions. But then there's the investigation. If a child comes up and they say something happened, there's a determination of where it should go. Does it go to the length of DASA? Does it not go to the DASA? And now there's going to be some reports on that so that we know what the numbers are, how many turn out into a DASA. The DASA has been improved over the last few years where there was confusion with it as to who can file against who or whatever it is. So that's been definitely improved so that it's more clear for people going forward. So they are going to be doing that. There's a school-based bullying prevention team that's going to meet monthly at all the buildings. Additional plans, there's a Step Up and Speak Out campaign to promote the All In Against Bullying. Of course, there's a LICAB, which I know we had talked about possibly having LICAB come and speak because that's such a big initiative with the 24 ambassadors. I don't know if we can figure that out to see if there's a date that they can come and they can give us that update because our mental health initiatives we have a lot more. We're kind of known for our mental health, so if we could have them come and speak. There's Joe Salamone, who is running this with the students. We also have empowering students preventing bullying, discrimination, hate crimes. There's an assembly at the high school on February 11th. So tomorrow. There'll be an assignment after that. Let's see, our monthly theme for the ESOL program is empathy and kindness. And some of the upcoming events, P.S. I Love You Day is the 13th. And the other thing which I wanted to actually hold up, again, it's going to be hard to see, but we have our screenagers. I know a few years ago we had screenagers, which was basically like a movie viewing, but it was more for teens. This is actually for elementary students and their parents. So there will be an event. It's March 12th. It's a Thursday here in the OBMS auditorium. Dinner and a movie will be there. It's on us. And this flyer, I don't know if the flyer has the flyer gone out yet for this to the parents of screenagers or not yet? What's that?
You're not sure?
Not sure yet, okay. All right, but this is the flyer, so when it comes through, there's that should be really great. And really, it talks about the, I know I have a little note here, but basically the things on children growing up with devices. They are starting younger and younger, so it really expresses the importance of, and the difference between a play-based childhood versus home-based childhood, just kind of giving the, I guess, the pros and cons of having devices for young children and what that can do to them socially. So that's going to be part of Screenagers. And we also had, which I'm not going to go into detail because I think we have an update for the drug and alcohol. Yes, we do have an update for the drug and alcohol. So I'm not going to go into that, but Mr. Modica was there and he gave us a great overview of what they're doing because that committee does fall under the mental health committee. One of the things I have to say, so I don't interrupt you later when you're doing this, I'm assuming you're going to give this update, the post-prom event. Did he mention that at all? I don't know if he did. They were talking about doing a post-prom event where basically students, they go to the prom, instead of going somewhere else, where, I don't, kids make all sorts of plans, they're going to actually, he did this at another school when he was there previously, to have them come back to the school, which I thought was a great idea. I don't know if anybody who was on that committee wants to get into more detail, but he did talk a little bit about that. And as always, the students that we have in the council, they're great, so thank you for being part of it.
I could be wrong, but I thought that we had told Dr. Prasad that we were good with the LICAP person.
I don't remember a date. Did we ever talk about a date? Because I don't
No,
know.
I think we just said we were okay with them coming.
I thought so, but then we never figured out a date. So I'm not sure. Maybe we can figure that out. But whatever meeting. Okay. All right.
To clarify, Marisol, before you shut me down, I had a question about the curriculum meeting.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No.
I thought that
I'm done.
Okay. Drug and Alcohol Committee, Ms. Iannatelli and Ms. Torgosa.
I'll just talk quick, Melissa, and then you can tell about the meeting. I just want to say that the post-prom, we did discuss last year, it has to do with the grant. If we get the grant, they'll be able to do different events with that money. So the grant actually was just resubmitted last week, and hopefully we'll find out within a month or so, what's going to happen with that. So Melissa, I'll turn it over to you.
So we discussed resubmitting the grant paperwork. We talked about a second vape intervention cohort that's actually, and working with the middle schools, because believe it or not, there is indeed also vape issues in middle school, which is a very sad reality. So Mr. Modico is going to speak with the middle school principals and assistant principals to see if it's not feasible, maybe a Zoom option, to see a way that we can bring that program, because it's been very successful at the high school level so far, to the middle school level for those who do need it. We touched back on the peer supporting peer questionnaire that we had brought up last time. So far, they had 7 responses as of the task force meeting, and we did talk about it being more appropriate to, if necessary, have more than one group, keep those groups small, because it's a sensitive subject. It's intimidating to be, if, say, by some chance we get 30 responses, it could be very intimidating to be in a group of 30 peers and talk about something, a lot less to be in a smaller group. With a target date of April to get that rolling out, depending on all the logistics of it. We spoke about the future teachers visiting the elementary school buildings to work with the second graders about good choices and bullying and things like that. It was actually really cool. This is not specific to the Drug and Alcohol Task Force, but there was the need for chaperones for each of those. And the way that every employee just jumped to help and get signed up. I mean, even Dr. Sedamore was like, if you need me on a day, like I'll try to help and make it work to make sure that no school, no grade, that no class didn't get the opportunity. So it was really nice to see everybody just so quickly rally. It was like we went from needing 1 million days to like having double people on some days. And then we spoke about potential upcoming presentations that would be April's favorite. They would be free. people coming in to talk about things like distracted driving and things like that. So that can encompass beyond just drugs and alcohol and driving. And then also high school the Vape Out initiative, which is high school students working with the fourth graders at Duffield as a pilot. Because again, I know it sounds insane to say Vape Out and an elementary school name together, but it is not impossible. And you know, it shows that early education component can really make a difference. So obviously it is very much age appropriate. It doesn't get too crazy, but it's really about a lot of good decision making at the end of the day is what it boils down to. I think I got it. Well, is there anything else?
All right, thank you. So we have our Board of Ed topics, we have district updates, Ms. Iannatelli.
So I'd like to start with my shout outs. I'd like to recognize 3 outstanding staff members who've gone above and beyond. Ms. Lenahan teaches our AP Government, and as Michael mentioned a couple of weeks ago, classes are most effective when learning is fun and engaging. Ms. Lenahan truly embodies this approach. She had her class play the game Spoons, I don't know if anybody's familiar, but instead of using regular cards, students used cards that had court cases on it. This creative out-of-the-box activity was an amazing way to keep students actively involved while reinforcing content. It was a perfect example of engaging instruction done right. Very impressive. Kids all enjoyed it. I'd like to give another shout out to our Director of Facilities, Brandon Weisberg. I ran into Brandon at the evening performance of Frozen at RMS. And I said, oh, you know, I'm surprised you're here. And he told me that he was there checking on his staff because they were helping out behind the scenes with things for the play. And he also wanted to support and stay for the play and the performance and, you know, support the kids. I thought that was amazing and above his scope of what he needed to do. And although I have given Mr. Leonard a shout out before, I feel I have to do that. Recently, a student forgot his sneakers, but really wanted to participate in gym class. Instead of turning him away, Mr. Leonard went above and beyond. The student asked if he could borrow Mr. Leonard's sneakers for the period. And without hesitation, he let the student use them so he could play basketball and fully take part in class. It's a small act like this, thoughtful, caring, and genuinely student-focused, that show how dedicated our staff truly are. We are incredibly fortunate to have educators who constantly go the extra mile to support our students. If anyone would like to give a shout out to a teacher or staff member, please contact me through email, phone, or social media, and I'd be happy to include them in my update. As for the updates for Connecticut High School, the Italian class visited the Poster House in Manhattan to explore the exhibition highlighting the Fascismo movement. Miss Minto's class in Edward J. Basti Elementary got their first look at the Quiver Vision, the district's newest augmented reality platform that turns coloring pages into 3D creations. I thought that was great. That's really awesome technology that we're bringing into the school. Duffield Elementary celebrated Heritage Museum Day, organized by the school's E&L department. Current and former students, as well as community members, came together to share traditions, stories, music, artifacts from the culture, different cultures. You know, myself, Ms. O'Hara, and Dr. Sedamore were able to go that day, and it was amazing. So many different cultures represented with interactive stations and presentations. It was wonderful. Idle Student Government gently used books to donate to the book fairies. They organized and dedicated to fostering a love of reading. I love that we teach our students to give back and, you know, collect for these different groups. Cherokee Avenue School had Career Week, where the 5th grade students throughout the week had family members, other people, loved ones volunteer their time to visit the class and share professional experiences and introduce students to many different career options. I think it's great for the students to hear early about the different career options and give them the opportunity to explore ideas. Done.
All right, thank you. We have Shrek Jr., Ms. DiLorenzo.
I love talking about these plays, and I'm so excited that I'm actually sitting right in front of the set. It was so fantastic, and I don't know what I liked best because it was incredible, but I was absolutely hysterical when Lord Farquhar came out on his knees. There was something very, very special about that. The acting, the singing, everything was, again, fantastic. These middle school kids are amazing. So thank you again for a wonderful night out. You kids were great, the families are great, the stage crew, the staff who put this together, you guys are just all amazing. So thank you so much. I loved it. My daughter loved it again between that and Frozen Junior, and I cannot wait for Anastasia. Maybe I should just put that on, Sabrina, add it now, the very next meeting after Anastasia, because I know I'm going to be talking about that one too, because they put on amazing shows. But Shrek Junior, wonderful. It was great. Donkey was hysterical too. I loved it, loved it. Great job, everybody.
So I just want to echo your sentiments, Ms. DiLorenzo, because amazing doesn't quite cover it. They are just the talent that you see on the stage. And what's unique about the OBMS play is that Mrs. White, the teacher that organizes it, has two casts. She has two sets of casts that learn the entire play. And on 2 nights, one set of cast does it, and on the other 2 performances, another set of cast does it, and they swap roles, and everybody partakes. And it's just amazing to watch such talent on the stage. And if we're going to give shout-outs, I would love to give a shout-out to Ms. Dowdell, the costume design person that helps do all the costumes. She brought a dinosaur, a dragon to the stage. Like, it was just amazing that she did it. Mr. Latarja, I hope I said your name right. She went up to him and she said, "Oh, I wish we could have curtains on the stage." And he went and, with his own money, on Amazon, bought curtains, sold them, and attached them to the stage. So thank you for everything. It can't come together without everybody that puts it together, and it was just an amazing, phenomenal performance. FOIL requests, Ms.
So I'd like to clarify the question around FOIL costs. Although most FOIL requests now go out digitally, they are no longer associated with paper or printing expenses. They still create a financial impact. Each FOIL must be thoroughly reviewed by the district council prior to being released. The time required for this legal review varies based on the volume and complexity of the documents. And in many cases, the attorney review can become costly. This doesn't even include all of the internal resources that go into gathering the data. To be clear, I'm not saying a community member shouldn't FOIL something if they need to. Only wanted to clear up the fact that FOILs do cost money. To date, we have 45, and in the next meeting, we're actually, the district clerk nicely is putting together the financial analysis, and I will give up-to-date information on how much we have spent on FOILs this year. Thank you.
I just have to say, and I know you said you're not trying to discourage people, but honestly, that did sound very discouraging. And one of the things that I think could help with I understand the financial piece. One of the things that could really help with that is transparency. As long as we are transparent with the community, we answer these people when they ask questions. They don't have to submit a FOIL request. We give them the information that they deserve. And I would never tell somebody, don't FOIL. And I know there's a financial cost. So it's, it's just one of those things. But the community deserves transparency. When they want it, they should have it. It's their district, it's their money, it's their community, and I would never want to discourage anybody from submitting a FOIL. If there's information that they want to get and they're not getting it, they have every right to do that.
Yeah, I 100% agree. We should not discourage anybody from FOILing. The question was only around the cost. I had many community members reach out to ask me if there was a cost associated, and hence why I said at the end that had nothing to do with a community member FOILing. I just wanted to give them the transparency of the cost of FOILs and how much we have been spending.
Community newsletter, Ms. DiLorenzo.
Yes, I just wanted to bring this up because there was, again, kind of transparency. There was a discussion about a community newsletter that we're going to be giving, a mid-year newsletter. So I just wanted to make sure that the community was aware that this was going out. So, Dr., if you can just and I don't think you did this in your update, you can just tell the community there is a cost associated with the mailing of it, and I just wanted the community to be aware this is their money, so I didn't want this discussion to continue in email, because that wouldn't be good. So if you could just give the information on the community, which the newsletter does look beautiful, by the way, I'm not even putting that down, it does look beautiful, a lot of information in there.
Thank you, Ms. DiLorenzo. Yes, so we've been working, myself, Ms. Poppy, principals, directors, have been working with Syntax for quite some time now to put something out to the community, the entire community, not just our parents, a kind of a mid-year report that would highlight, you know, the AAA district that we are with the academics, the athletics, the arts, highlight all the special programs and partnerships. And so this is very similar to what the budget brochure looks like that goes out during, right before the budget vote. And this mailing, if we get the green light tonight from the board, would be about $6,400 in printing and postage cost to go out to the community. So if there are no concerns from the board tonight, then we will move forward and try to get this to the printer within the next couple of days, and then hopefully it could get mailed possibly next week during the break.
Thank you.
And I also just wanted to follow up with the board as we're talking about mailing. There was a request from the board to look at the 8th grade, who are the rising 9th graders, to mail out the course catalog. So we will move forward with that. That I meant to put in my update.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I just wanted to touch on moments of silence again once more. In true transparency, there was a request for a moment of silence for tonight for the police officer that was tragically killed. I believe it was last week. And I had to tell this particular trustee that we did observe moments of silence on occasion for individual people, but over time it has created challenges around consistency and fairness. So there are so many losses that affect the community in so many different ways, and this is not in any way about diminishing the importance of any individual loss, but about applying a consistent approach going forward. So I just wanted to bring that up, and if you wanted to speak on it.
I do, because I'm the one that requested it, and for full transparency, I'm gonna read my request. I would like to honor Police Officer Patricia Espinosa by including her in our upcoming board meeting's moment of silence. Her recent passing hits very close to home for many of our security staff who are retired officers themselves, as well as a huge portion of our community who either currently serve, are retired, or have loved ones in the police force. I think it would be a very respectful way to thank them for their service and show them support through a difficult time. The last time when moment of silence came up, it's kind of something that, thought of with Charlie Kirk in that moment, and this had happened, and I think that had kind of thrown some of the board off. They didn't really like what happened with Charlie Kirk. I'm not saying everybody, but, and this had happened, there was more time. I said, let me just put this out there that I want to do this at this time. It was turned down, and it was also suggested, and I won't give names, that when I asked about this, that it was, the reason being turned down was that it was political. I don't believe it's ever political to honor the police or law enforcement. I thought that was terrible. And it also prompted the discussion, not a discussion, but the thought of creating a policy to limit us. And let me be clear, as far as the moment of silence goes, you do the moment of silence out of respect, but when there are people that you want to put in there, it's something, like Charlie Kirk, I hope we never see something like that again. Or things like this where people have passed. So I don't think it would be right to ever limit the board for who they want, future boards or anybody who they would like, or a community request. So I don't know how the rest of the board feels. I would never, ever be for creating a policy to limit how we do our moment of silence. I don't think that's right at all.
So just for the record, I did not believe it to be a political. No, I just wanted to put it out there for the record. I did have a conversation with Ms. DiLorenzo about why I thought that we should probably hold off on having the moment of silence, just to have the consistency throughout the district for the various people that are all tragically deaths.
Yeah, I'd like to say, and I have no problem reading my email too, it had nothing to do with political, that we have to stay consistent. 11 other law enforcement officers died in 2026. 18 people just died this last week from the severe weather. There are accidents everywhere. We've had community members reach out to us to ask us to do moments of silence, and we have not done theirs. Like, how do we pick and choose who is our moment of silence and who isn't? It's just an endless list, and we can go on and on with how many people, unfortunately, have passed away. And it was brought to my attention, and I'll read my email, it has been brought to my attention that we should have a policy in place to address this type of action so that we can avoid encouraging similar situations in the future. We need to remain apolitical and focus solely on board and district business. As I stated at our last board meeting, consistency is critical. We cannot continue to expand our moment of silence to include individuals who are not affiliated with the district. If we did so, the list would quickly be unmanageable, as there are countless individuals and groups who could be considered. As you know, we have received numerous requests from community members asking for recognition of various individuals, and we have not complied with those requests. I understand that these decisions can be difficult, as personal feelings naturally come into play. I have personally felt compelled to recognize individuals in the past, and I have had to refrain in order to remain consistent and align with our responsibilities. Unfortunately, this is a no, and I will work on having a policy created for the board to vote on.
Ms. Parisi, you had some questions?
Yeah. So I've asked this several times. I'm requesting of the administration, I'd like to know how many children have been reported not living in the district. How many times, or what we do about it. And I'm requesting that the number be consistent with what I've collected from teachers, social workers, administration, chair people, things of that nature. I'm also requesting, how many people do we have Section 8? How many people welfare-wise? I really, we talked about it budgetarily within the last meeting. We're approving monetary issues here, and I still to date have not gotten those numbers. Also, I want to know what it entails to get these people that, or what the district has to do when they know kids are living, let's say, in Riverhead, and they're sending their kids here, just as an example. Or what does that take? I was told that it takes 6 forms of proof. What? So I'd like those answers. And quite frankly, that's just a bump on this list as to why I'm voting no monetarily on all these things.
Does anybody else have any Board of Ed topics? Does anybody in the audience want to have a public comment? Can I have a motion and a second to adjourn?
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Good night, everyone.